Okay, don't forget we are live on VooVix TV. If you want to watch back all of this, you can go on youtube.com and just search for VooVix TV. And tomorrow you can go to VooVixTV.com. So we have a very interesting panel coming up. Is actually, you guys will love this panel. This is marketing, media, and PR for the next generation. Once again, marketing, media, and PR for the next generation. We have a series of people here. We have Beverly Governor from New Metro Cinemas, Bubelo Mashilo from Dow Egbest, Marketing Manager, Liat Madinain, Zachary Kingston. Guys, all come here. I think it's got enough space. You go, feel free. I don't bite. Come on now. Come on. There you go. Yeah, go for it. Okay, right, guys, welcome to the panel. Was it one more person? There's two more people. Are they're not coming? What's happened to them? We didn't call them. Oh, well, you call them then. Go on then. You guys come. Don't worry about it. Just come in. Where are they? Guys, where are they? You guys come in. But before we start, Beverly, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship with New Metro, how you started and everything else?
So I'm a year at New Metro. Prior to that, I was at Discovery, and I did a couple of stints at Stir, as well as at OneLogix and SBV. So I came up in studying public relations and communications, but I found myself in the marketing area, specializing in communications, brand, and building businesses and doing storytelling and connecting an audience to a brand. And that's where my passion lies.
And that's where your passion connects in PR, and that's where I'm going to introduce you guys introduce yourselves, because you said to yourself, if I don't hear my name, I'm not coming. I was keeping the best to the last, guys. Come on now. I wanted you guys to just make the entrance, and we're there. Go on, introduce yourself, mate.
Thank you for having me. It's an absolute honor to be at the South African Trade and Consumer Expo. Not just as a sponsor, but as someone who's very passionate about the creative industry. Thank you. My name is Amir Ibrahim. I'm the Chief Creative Officer of Stir Collective, which is basically a company with various subsidiaries under them. We are an event and production company. We're doing the sound right now. Mic check. LED is right in the back there. That's our stand, Stir Collective. My professional background as a marketing professional, I'm a multidisciplinary creative specialist. I'm here for the guys who don't have a degree. Just the guy who did it all.
That's right, Amir. Give it up for Amir, guys. Give it up for Amir. Loving it. And you?
Fantastic. Firstly, let me start off by saying it's an absolute pleasure to be here. My name is Bongani Kumalo. I am the head of digital of the HKLM Group. At the HKLM Group, we are a global branding and communications agency where we specialize in strategy and mainly in digital. When it comes to digital, not so much digital marketing, but more so digital experiences. And that actually ties down to what my passion is in advertising and in marketing. It's providing the consumer the right experience.
I love it.
Yeah, glad to be here.
I love it. Go for it.
So I'm Zachary Kingston. I am the Chief Strategy Officer for FCB. FCB is the world's leading advertising network. And basically what my job is how do we look at data, how do we look at different pieces of information so that creatively we can ensure people start to buy our products, so we can ensure that when people see our ads, they actually want to take action. So
fantastic. I love that. I love when people see our ads, they want to take action, because there's no point putting ads and no one's taking action. Liat, go on.
Hi everyone. My name is Liat Madinane. So I am an entrepreneur. I have a background in marketing. Been working for a mid-sized creative agency. Started my own agency, and I'm now back into entrepreneurship.
And don't forget, she's award-winning as well. She's won a few. She's playing that. She won a few awards, right? And obviously, Bubelo, one of our clients, going in.
No, hi everyone. Bulelo Mashilo. I am the brand manager of Dow Egbest and Low Espresso in South Africa for JDE Peet's, the largest pure play coffee company in the world. I've been there over a year. Prior to that, I was actually in the food industry, so I have experience from famous brands, working on casual dining restaurants, your turn and tenders, so forth. Before that, I was at Yum Brands, Pizza Hut Africa, and KFC there. So yeah, total marketer, trying to grow myself, and yeah, that's me.
So guys, I hope you got your question. Come on, give it up, guys, give it up. So you got a panel of seasoned, bacon seasoned marketing experts, right? So you need to make sure your questions are about right. Okay, so I'm going to start with a huge question, which is marketing and PR, right? Marketing VPR or marketing and PR, and anyone could go on this one. Marketing and PR, what's the difference in 2025? Let's start with Liat. Liat, go for it.
Okay, all right, so I'll go. I think I will actually try and answer the question from very much an entrepreneurial point of view, but bringing in the business side. So in this day, especially with digital social media and how easy it is to position yourself and blow up, right? So if you think about marketing, you think about it from a strategy point of view. We have something, we want to put it out there, and this is our intention. However, PR is more of how does the public then receive this, and what do they do with it, and how does it change things? I think in this day and age, and as you mentioned, in 2025, the thin line is always intention for me, right? And the reason I say that is we are in a very consumer-driven time where a lot of people are consuming stuff rather than creating things. And in the process of you thinking about your marketing and your PR, you have to also find that thin line in terms of what do then people do when they consume that? Because marketing for a brand could be commercials, it could be internal, it could be how do we communicate with our clients, how do we communicate with our customers, and PR is what are people receiving out there. So just that thin line of intentionality and making sure that what do you then want people to do with the stuff when they receive it.
No, I love that. Now, Zachary, imagine there's people here sitting there and they're thinking they've got a business brand, they've got a brand, and they don't even know where to start. I'm just giving an example. How did they kind of know what the target audience? Because marketing, you can just be marketing to every so you can market to someone from 15 to 50, 60 to 70. You just market. But how do you refine your marketing and fine tune it to find your target audience?
So it's hard work, but it's not as complicated as we often like to make it out to be. When you have a business or you have a product, there must have been intentionality behind why this business exists, what this product is going to solve for, right? Whether you are a bank, whether you're selling toilet paper, whether you're selling chocolate, there's a consumer problem that exists, and this product or this business can solve that problem. So now that's step one. Step two is then where do the majority of the people that have that problem sit? Are they 70? Are they 17? Are they 20? Are they black, white? Are they men, women? Where do the majority sit? And then the last thing to do is to say, if you have this product that solves this problem, you have this consumer group which is large enough to run your business, how then are you going to show up in a way that is relevant to them and resonates with them? Because then now, cool, we know this company can resolve my issue, but more than that, I want to engage with this company. And how they want to engage is where the brand level starts to come through. So as long as you follow those sequential steps, ultimately, you'll be able to apply your product to any consumer as long as you've done the steps to make sure they are the right consumer.
Definitely. Now, Bubelo, you're one of my clients. I remember the first time I came to South Africa and the TV went on. I saw one of your TV adverts, and the TV adverts was a guy and a girl went on a date. The girl, I think you guys know the advert. Stop pretending here. I see you guys. They're trying to pretend. I see you. You know the advert I'm talking about. They came back from the date, and the guy said, "Do you want to come for a coffee?" Right? Now, how important is humor in marketing? Because at the end of the day, you can just market and be serious and market. How important is it to connect with humor?
And I think that, it's still one of my favorite adverts, and the adverts that are going to be upcoming, at Dow Experts want to keep humor in it because my brand is witty. You understand? So each brand has a personality. So if I look at it like, don't try and have humor and wittiness in a situation where you can't do it. So it's like an IT company, or maybe I'll say a mining company. What's the point of being humorous? But my brand's personality globally is humor, witty. You know, we push the boundaries a bit in how we communicate. And it's a fun brand, you know, like we've got brands like we're actually talking in the back about Nando's and Chicken Licken and how the great work that they do with humor. But not everybody can do it that way. A steakhouse might not activate it in the same way because maybe their consumers slightly in an LSM that's higher, older, more serious. You don't know who you're dealing with. So humor is important for my brand, but I've also got Low Espresso, which I brand manage, of which has a totally different personality. It only has espresso pods in the country. It's so niche that its reach is not in the tens of millions the way my other brand, Dow Experts, is. So I need to be specific to that consumer that everything there is luxury. It's a luxury brand. And it's a global brand in the terms of globally, it's seen as luxury and premium in Europe and all that. I'm sure you've heard of it. So for me, it's the brand's personality. That's why it's important to follow the brand's CI. And if you work for global brands or brands that have been around for years, that corporate identity is very important. Don't add humor if it's not in the corporate identity. But then again, you also get our creators on the panel who come sometimes and they can find opportunities for humor. But I don't believe that you should force it, if you get what I'm saying. Because
it's got to be more organic, more natural.
Exactly.
I hear you. Now, Beverly, New Metro, obviously with New Metro Cinemas, you have a huge opportunity there. One of our clients, for advertising across your cinemas, right? And loads of brands can utilize that opportunity. How do you find it in 2025? You leveraging those opportunities.
So we are leveraging opportunities with other brands, such as Nedbank that we've partnered with, ABSA, Sanlam, Cecil. All of these other brands and opportunities allow us to penetrate their market and them to showcase their value proposition of their rewards programs through us. And the key driver for that is your bottom line. People perceive going to movies is expensive, but it's not. Using the partnership and rewards benefits that we have in place, it is really, really affordable.
So you have to figure out a way. I want to ask you about figuring out a way, right? Because what she just said now makes sense. Because the thing is, when you partner with other brands, right? Is it like competitive, or is it a chance to figure out another way of branding and marketing?
So when it comes to partnering with other brands, what you're trying to do is that it needs to be a mutually beneficial relationship or a mutually beneficial campaign. So nowhere are we competing. If anything, we're both elevating both our brands because we're introducing both ourselves to a completely different new market. And that's the type of conversations that you need to have. And when you meet up, it's about finding the right way to, is it synergize? To create a synergy. And each brand should actually complement each other, and not one should ever take the lead for that specific campaign.
I like that. I mean, part of STIR is production, right? How important is production? Because obviously aesthetics is everything, right? But back in the day, you have a campaign that would spend 2.5, 3.5, 10 million pounds, I don't know whether here, on a TV advert that was like 2 minute long or 45 seconds long. And then you have, Mr. Jones online feeding the cat. And Mr. Jones feeding the cat's got 4 million views today, and the advert you spend 2 million on has got 2 views, right? How do you kind of compromise and say, look, do you know what? We need more creativity and use production to make sure you kind of spread that image on there?
Yeah, look, production itself is very fast. When you're speaking specifically in production, you right now you're referring to TV production, right?
Yes.
Whereas in my industry
and even event production as well, because with event production as well, brands want to do events like product sampling and things like that. Sure. Product launches.
The one thing people don't really, or may tend to overlook about event production is that, and I just had a conversation with these guys who I met backstage, is that we're the guys who actually bring the events to life. And I feel like it's something that's kind of sad in the industry right now. I got to attend the Luris last year. which is one of the most prestigious advertising award shows in South Africa and Middle East. And there wasn't even a single category that recognized the technical infrastructure company. We love you guys. You'll come up with the creative concepts. You know, it looks all great and stuff, but we're literally the guys who bring it to life, you know?
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a little bit more recognition in that space. That's why I'm using this platform right now.
No, it makes sense. It actually does make sense. Now, marketing is a vast industry, and in every country is different. Marketing and advertising in South Africa, I don't know if you guys know, the TV advertising here is #1 because the TV adverts here. I think a lot of people steal from South Africa. Come on, guys. The TV adverts here, I feel like a lot of people steal from the campaign. They're not just funny, they connect directly. So how important is culture when it comes to marketing? Because it is a cultural thing, you know? Because a lot of people don't understand marketing. A lot of countries get it wrong. You know, a lot of countries have to go and employ people from other countries to help them with their marketing. And you see it. You know, there's countries that, you know, tourism-wise, they could be doing so much, you know, but they get it wrong. So how important is culture when it comes to marketing and using that culture? Like, for example, we talked about, you know, load shedding today, right? And it's not me, we talked about load shedding. You guys were there. I don't know why you guys are pretending now like we've not been talking together all day. I saw you. You've been with that phone for 2-3 hours. We were all there together. Someone talked about load shedding, right? And we said, well, you know, there's been adverts where they've used load shedding, and it was like a sense of humor. So how important is culture to marketing, especially here in South Africa?
We were just having
all the way to everybody else.
We were just having the same conversation because half the panel is from agencies, and we were having a conversation backstage about the global agencies coming to our local market, but missing the cultural aspect of our landscape. And it is so important because our messages need to resonate with our market.
Yes.
And from a New Metro perspective, that's what we try to do. And with that, we're pushing our experiences because it's more than just watching a movie, which you can do on your couch, but we are using the culture or bringing back the culture of going to movies, but showcasing the experiences that we provide to that, like a VIP, which is your luxury recliner seats, or a 4DX, which is your motion multi-sensory platform, or the Extreme, which is your large format surround sound immersive experience. So for us, driving that culture back to cinema is very important in our messaging.
Sir?
No, I'll just add on it, and I believe culture is the most important thing. Localizing, I'm a big advocate for localizing. So like we were having the discussion backstage, and you know, you can work for global companies or companies in general that the head offices, you know, they have head offices all over the world, and maybe your one is in America. And then they've produced a TV ad, and you know, it's easy, let's roll it out throughout the world. But how relevant is that for a South African that's used to the streets of Johannesburg or Cape Town, seeing a consumer, you know, in New York? They have a different experience versus you. I mean, culture here is tough. We are a rainbow nation, but culturally, I understand the culture of my consumer's wallet. I understand what my consumers are spending on. I'm asking my consumers, I'm living on the ground. I need to understand culture. So if I don't understand the culture of the market I'm playing in, then I don't know who my consumer is. So it's always important as marketers and brand managers and marketing managers or executives in general, and agencies who are our partners in executing everything, is that ask the right questions, keep the consumer at the heart of it, know the culture of the consumer, because as South Africa, we are a rainbow nation. Gap between incomes are also very hectic, so you just need to know the culture and the consumer you're dealing with. No, so I'm a big advocate for that.
I like that, yes.
Was that a clap?
Yeah, come on. You got a clap. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. So I really believe at its core that marketing is the art of corporate storytelling. And when you think about how most of us grew up, you know, you'd sit with your grandmother and they'd be telling you a tale, or for some of the bougie people, they had their parents read them a story before bedtime. And you started creating these visuals in your head. And then the older you got, we would all sit around a TV and we'd watch commercials. And there are certain commercials that you watched as a 5-year-old or as a 7-year-old that you still remember, that you resonated with. And as an adult, you find yourself using those brands or engaging with those products, right? And I think then where culture then comes in is, where is the connection in that process of the storytelling? Because what we are trying to do as marketers is we're trying to resonate with the consumer. Yeah. And for the consumer to then decide between product A and product B is how well you manage to resonate with them. Or even for them to move from product A to product B is because of the fact that they feel that this company actually resonated with me. And what does that resonance really come from? It comes from what you believe in. It comes from how you grew up. It comes from things that are important to you. So that's the cultural piece, right? That's the insights that everyone is looking for. Like, what are people looking for at the moment? What are their current challenges? What are things that are important to them? And as a brand or as a company, how do we then communicate that that is something that's important to us, and that's something that we want to help you also get to quicker, sooner, faster, cheaper, whatever it is, what's that insight? So I think that's the power of the culture, and ultimately it's everything, because that's where the connection truly lies.
Fair enough. That's good. That's good. Zach, what about you?
So I'm going to piggyback off what you just said, where that's where the connection really lies, because short answer to your question, culture is significantly important to marketing.
Right. Yeah.
Long answer is that everyone is different. So it's not about cultural backgrounds, right? Because when we look at culture, we think, oh, we're talking about cultural backgrounds. Culture is everything that's happening in the world of the consumer. And then there are subcultures that exist beneath that. So all of us here on the marketing panel, we know something or another about marketing. But if you were to sell something to us, we are each unique individuals. That degree of uniqueness has been informed by our cultures or by our subcultures. So for a brand to, as you both said, resonate, it needs to be relevant. How do I know this brand is relevant to me? Because it showcases that it understands me. If you can't showcase to consumers that you adequately understand who they are and show up in a way that they're receptive to, you're just throwing money down the drain. It's a spray and pray approach, and sure, you might sell a few products, but you won't achieve the numbers or the targets that you could if you bothered to listen a little bit more, understand the cultures a little bit deeper.
I like that, yes.
And then, adding into piggybacking off of the both of you, because you pretty much took all the points out my mouth. But culture is ultimately everything. And the more you can understand your consumer, of course, as Zach had mentioned, the more then you'd be able to actually make a sale from me. But now adding into that, I think a big mistake that a lot of companies make is taking a blanket approach to when they first have their first successful campaign, where they created their first persona of who their target market is, and it worked amazing. And they believe applying that same strategy to everybody is going to then lead to the same results, which you're going to be dead in the water. Your business is going to crash very, very soon. So the key aspect here is asking the right questions, but then there is no such thing as the right questions. Just ask as many questions as possible. The more data that you can get in, the more calculated your decision can be, your decision-making process can be, and thus being able to connect. To give you one example, most recently, I think the financial sector has actually been doing their research in the sense that the youth of today are, of course, digitally savvy, but economically constrained. Therefore, you now have banking apps offering zero data usage on their apps and things like that, which I think is an absolute genius thing, because now that absolutely opens up the opportunity for the youth to get into learning about finance from a very young age, even though I don't have the money to buy the data. So it's just about understanding your market and then pitching your idea.
No, I like that. That's building long-term clients for the future. Is that building that generational wealth? I mean, what about you?
Thank you. I definitely share the same sentiments, and just to add to the different perspectives, I think culture is directly proportional to authenticity, and we should be bold enough to embrace that authenticity. and also just more willing to push that envelope. And yeah, that's it, man.
No, I like that. I like that. So now we're going to talk about, because obviously people are watching now. There's people watching at home, and obviously people here. We're going to be asking questions, by the way. We are live on YouTube and VooVix TV as well. So a lot of people have been watching here saying, hey, you know what? This all sounds great, you know, but how did you guys do it? You know, because sometimes, you know, people see the finished article, the finished version, and they don't see what it takes. You know, I was once I spoke to Usain Bolt, one of the fastest runners in the world, and I said, my guy, you are very fast. But he goes, you don't see the hard work I do behind the scenes. You don't know the sleepless nights, the going to the gym, the running miles. They don't see that. So take us through a moment in your life to get to where you got to. Was it an easy plane? How did you make it? And for everyone in the panel, getting to the positions that you are today, what was it about? I mean, obviously summarizing, was it tenacity? Was it a belief? Was it a vision? Because some people, they have a vision. They have something that they know they're going to get to. They're going to get to a certain plateau, and nobody can disturb that vision, right? And they just keep going and they get there. And for some other people, they have that vision, and it takes one single challenge to disturb it. So people want to know, right? So how did you get to where you got to, especially if you went through challenges getting there? And that's to the rest of the panel as well. And don't forget, guys, I hope you're putting your questions together, because I'm going to come down to you. And by the way, tomorrow we have the Urban Musical's 20th anniversary. Some of the best questions here, if you're not attending, if you've not got tickets, will win a chance to come to the Urban Musical. Some of the best questions only, okay? All right, let's go.
So personally, my background is in public relations and communications. But 25 years ago, when I landed in Johannesburg, I found myself in the marketing and communications fields, where I absolutely love working. I've worked with various brands throughout the years, such as Discovery, such as Ster-Kinekor, OneLogix, SPV, and now at New Metro. So marketing and communications PR has resonated throughout all of the industries that I've been in. But for me, the passion that I felt in the movie industry specifically, this is what makes me get up and do my job. I'm with New Metro.
So you would say your driving force has been passion, right? So that's been the driver. Because we had someone here in the earlier panels, and he was talking about, you know, he's got two businesses, logistics and e-commerce, but he doesn't love them. He loves farming instead, but he's got to do the businesses. So you're saying passion is so important.
Passion is what makes me get up in the morning, makes me work through the night to see the end goal and make sure that everything is delivered flawlessly at the end of the day.
Love it.
It's passion, it's my family, my kids, my husband, and obviously my relationship with God.
Definitely. That's important.
That's what drives me. I've faced many challenges in my career. I've been retrenched, but those are the key things that have made me get up in the morning and strive again for a new day.
It's good to know, because a lot of people, they don't know that. Come on, okay, Jesus Christ, guys. There you go. It's good to know. It's good to know, because look, seeing the end product with us, seeing the journey, and you know, passion, relationship with God, you know, that's the things that get you up in the morning. You look at an area that you love films that made you get inspired by doing it, because a lot of people are doing stuff they don't like, and that's why they don't find success in it. Yourself?
I mean, yeah, passion. I mean, my passion is a drive to succeed and leave a legacy. I mean, that's what I've always...
Come on, guys, a drive to succeed. Come on, drive to succeed and leave a legacy, right? Because there's success, you can succeed, but you got to leave a legacy, right? There you go.
So it's also about what I want to be remembered for. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm one of those that even if tomorrow someone comes and approaches me, hey, I need help with this, how do I get into this? I don't ever say no to anyone,
Yes.
because I want to know how I'm going to be remembered. So I mean, starting out, when fresh out of varsity, got an internship at an ad agency, did about a year there and decided, you know what, ad agencies aren't for me. Very tough environment they work in, but yeah, it wasn't for me. And I think what I studied marketing for was that it's a means I love, but it's going to lead to an end I desire, which is more if you're a great marketer, you'll be a great entrepreneur. You'll be great at seeing gaps. You'll be great at, you understand, I've got a lot of things that I do on the side that I know are gonna bear fruit, but until I get there, let me work in the industry, let me understand the consumer. The resources you get when you work, guys, is big. Versus a startup.
So one of the things you're saying is, you said passion, one of the things you said is legacy and exciting, because the thing is, you have to have in French they call it raison d'être. You have to have a reason why you're getting up in the morning, right? Why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you don't, one day, if a small challenge comes, you're going to give up. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So there's got to be that drive, and that passion has like that flame. It has to be that journey that you're excited about, even the good and the bad. Yourself.
Oh, thank you. Sure, it's a big and beautiful question, and I have so much that I genuinely want to share.
Well, generally share then.
So I'll try and use like an ABC approach to answer the question, right? And for me, I think the first is audacity. You know, as a woman attempting something like entrepreneurship or even daring to go very big in your career, you first have to have that level of audacity and believing that you can do it. So much that if someone comes to you and says, how dare you think you can do that? You should already have had that moment with yourself where you look at your life and you look at your goals and you say, like, how dare do I think I can do this? And you feel that they're too big for you to achieve, and you still want to go after them regardless. So I think audacity is a very, very big one. The second, I mean, trying to go along the line of my ABC is that level of boldness.
Wow.
You really need to be bold. Bold in the way you show up to yourself in terms of respecting yourself, respecting decisions and commitments you make to yourself, which ultimately lead to you being disciplined to your own goals and your own objectives, but boldness in everything that you also do, like respecting your job, respecting your colleagues, respecting your business, respecting your clients, you know, having that level of boldness. And finally, it's that competence piece, because that's also really important in the process of you daring to go after your goals. Always have that deep desire to always excel. Like, what do I need to do to become the best at this? If I am trying to do something, how do I make sure that I'm competent in it? Do I have to take up a course? Do I need to get a mentor? Do I need to listen to a podcast? Do I need to read a book? Like, how do I make sure that I'm competent in doing this? And even when you don't feel competent, do it regardless, and then go back and ask for feedback. How did I do this? How can I become better at this?
Come on, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so that ABC I hope can help, and it can help me summarize.
Can I just check whether you guys remember the ABC? Do you remember the ABC? What's A? Audacity. What's B? What's C? You see these people, they're geniuses in the whole, man. You know what I mean? What about you?
So I'll do it in two parts. Why marketing, and then hopefully I'll be able to articulate the challenges, trials, tribulations. So I never wanted to be a marketer. I wanted to be a lawyer. Everyone.
Oh, wow. I did law, yeah.
Studied law. My
Same. I know what you mean.
So I was like, I'm going to become a lawyer. No one in my family is a lawyer in spite of their studies. So my mother said to me, she painted a very beautiful picture. She said, you know, Zachary, if you really want to be a lawyer, go into marketing. Because all a lawyer does is they gather information, they lay down their case, and they try to tell it in a compelling fashion. And you can do the exact same thing as a marketer, but you'll have so much more fun with it. So there was more to it than that. But principally, she brought me into it. And I have since come to find that marketing, why I get up in the morning, is that it's a very powerful industry to be a part of. When we talk about presidential elections, it's a big marketing campaign.
It is, yes.
When we talk about policy changes in government, when we talk about community interventions, it's not just about these brands that we see here, that we see on TV. Marketing is pervasive. And if you can be a great marketer, it means that you actually have the ability to change how people view the world.
Yeah.
So for me, that was always something very powerful, and being able to master that was something very exciting.
Come on, guys. Come on.
I think that in terms of advice I would give, marketing is not the same as advertising. Advertising is the fun stuff, the adverts on TVs. Marketing is everything that happens around the sale of the product, right? Which means that everything you do is being judged by other people. If you're choosing a career in marketing, you are choosing to be judged every day. So you need to really be resilient. You need to be able to take the knocks, take the negative feedback, and still continue to push. And then, again, to echo your sentiment, there needs to be this desire to want to learn. If you think you are a know-it-all, you can't thrive because the industry is constantly evolving, constantly changing. And if you're not evolving and studying and learning at the pace of that change, unfortunately, you get left behind very quickly.
Wow, come on. Come on, guys. Come on. You guys are slow. This is not London Fashion Week, guys. You're slow clapping. Like it's London Fashion Week. All right. I love that. Yes.
Yeah, I think you just need to find your why, for starters.
Yes.
Because without knowing what your why is, then you will forever just be in a state of moving around just like a zombie.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sure whether you're coming or whether you're going. But when it comes to myself, my why is providing an experience. I love when we fly to an ad and I'll be just doing my grocery shopping and I'll hear random people that I've never met talking about my ad. I'm like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Like, we did that. And
what ad was that, by the way?
Oh, there's plenty. I could spend the whole day. Because we've been on a lot of award-winning campaigns, man.
You're telling me, I know. I'm just pretending not to know. I know.
But with that, you need to be obsessed. You genuinely need to be obsessed with your why. And because you'll wake up in many, many different moments where you're not actually doing what it is that you want to be doing, but you still need to put food on the table.
Yes.
You need to show up as hard and as dedicated to that as you would to something that you love doing. And I'm sure everybody's heard the what's that quote? Do the things that you don't like as if you love them. I'll add on top of that, and that is, with all the hard work that you keep on doing, of course you'll get the achievements, and you'll build up an undeniable stack of proof to remind yourself at a minimum that you are who you think you are.
Wow, come on. Deep, come on. Come on, guys.
In other words, in every single situation, outwork your self-doubt.
Love it. Outwork your self-doubts. Yeah, yourself.
Thank you. My story is one of resilience, hard work, and determination. But more than that, it's overcoming the odds. I grew up in a very underprivileged background, very poor community, Pietermaritzburg, KZN. Unfortunately, I don't have tertiary education. 4 years ago, I was selling shoes on the road of Joburg, moved up with one van, no bed, one blanket. My family consists of 4 people. In 4 years, I was able to do everything from graphic design, videography, editing, rubbing shoulders with the best of the best.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you. If you'll take a look at that screen on the back,
right.
I've shot and edited 80% of the content that's there. You'll see all the local celebrities, international celebrities like Steve Harvey. I've gotten to shoot right in front of Steve Harvey. This is a man I never thought in my life I would even meet. I'm now an entrepreneur, but marketing has got me to the position I'm in right now. It doesn't just apply to the creative industry, but in life as a whole. I use it as a source of inspiration for myself, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in, because in the last 4 years on my marketing journey, I always felt like I had a lot more to prove because I don't have the qualification. And that actually helped me. It forced me to have more of a drive or curiosity. And I think curiosity answers the biggest question right now. You need to have curiosity in life. But not to get too sentimental and stuff like that. It's just a story of overcoming the odds and just not giving up ever.
I love that. Overcoming the odds and not giving up. And I think this is such an important conversation because, they're seeing the success. They're seeing where you've gotten. The awards, there's a lot of awards on this award-winning panel. But, people want to know the start, the journey. And what you guys have shared has actually inspired a lot of people. So I'm going to throw it to the audience. You guys have been listening tentatively. So it's now your chance to ask the questions, right? ask the good questions. Who wants to start? Who wants to go? I'll go with you first, and then we'll go with you second. All right, first here, and then second here, and then we'll go to the other person. When you stand up, your name and your question. And don't do no Genesis ABC. We've promoted you more than enough, yeah? Because I know what you're going to do. I've clocked it already. When you heard marketing, I got you on that one.
Thank you so much.
See, I got to remember. There you go. You switch the mic. There you go. Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the information that you've given us. My name is Gala Molashe. I'm the co-founder of Genesis ABC and the sales director of Genesis ABC. Based on your experience as a marketers and knowing that we are trying to reach a lot of people doing accounting services for them. But most people see accounting as not a tangible business, where they do not understand what we do in the background. What advice would you give us in order to be able to tap into the best marketing services that will actually help us reach more people, but without breaking the bank, but knowing that the Ramaphosa economy is very expensive, but we still need to reach the people without breaking the bank?
Ooh, okay, you guys go for it.
So I think that leverages the content creation and influencer market a lot, because that does not break the bank. Using them to drive key storytelling messages that you want to put out there would definitely help you in that direction. And tell stories that not just impress, but inspire. That's where you'll leave a mark.
Offiness heavy. Anyone wants to add to that? Anyone wants to add to that?
Yeah, I'd like to come in quickly. So I have found that people don't really, especially in service-orientated businesses, they really go or they consume from you on the promise of value, right? So, and the reason I'm trying to phrase this answer like this is, if I am a business person, I ultimately need my business to be compliant for me to continue trading, right? And the lack of compliance costs me money. So it costs me X amount of money. I need a company to help me with my compliance. So if you are charging me a fraction of what the lack of that is costing me consuming your products or your services is a no-brainer. So I would then say you have to try by all means to position that value. Try and almost in the process of trying to identify your clients, try and position that value for them, and maybe even considering approaching certain people in service exchange, right? I found recently I came across a person that reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, hi, this is what we do. We saw this is what you do. We'd like to do this for you, and we'd like for you to do this for us, and we can discuss what the value is. And I was actually very impressed by that. I was like, oh, I'm keen to hear more. So it's sometimes not even people saying, we have this to sell to you, but it's like, how can we solve your problem, and how can you solve our problem as well at the same time? So
how
that's
can we
something to
solve your
consider.
problem? And how can we solve your problem? I love that. I love that. Should we go for another question? Another question? Who's got a question out there? Go on there. Jordan, have you got a question? You go on there, go for Jordan. That's mini Jordan, by the way. Right? Yeah, I am being, I'm bringing in the kids young. Go on.
My question is, how do you
Firstly, how old are
market
you?
it?
How old are you? And what's your name? That's how you start. Go on.
I'm 4.5 and my name is Jordan Jr.
There you go. There you go. You see, it's in the family. Go on then. Go on. What's your question?
My question is, how do you market it?
Oh, how do you market it? Anything? How do you market it? Because you've got a business idea, and how do you market it? Go on, Bavana. How do you market it?
So I'll try and put it in the most
very strong question
simple,
there for a 4-year-old.
It's amazing, wow,
Yeah.
for a 4-year-old. Hey,
Yeah.
Jordan Jr. I'll try and make this as simple as possible and
Yeah.
not get too complicated. But I mean, like the panel's been saying the whole day, that you find the need or you find the want, right? You find the gap, and then from finding the need and the want, you develop the product. And I'm not sure what your product is. Maybe your product's yourself or water or your school bag that's next to you there.
Jordan, I don't think we know your product. How do you start a business? What's your product? What?
So my product is a phone that you can only call your mom and dad, and there's no internet.
Wow. So that's a good idea. I'm not gonna lie. So no going to different sites. You just call mom and dad on the phone. You don't get to see things you shouldn't. That's actually, I might invest in that myself.
I will develop a beautiful strategy for you with the help from the panel, where we come up with a brilliant proposal. We look at the different platforms you're going to look at, and yours is going to be Reach, and we're going to go to little schools, preschools and creches. We're going to go to your age group. We're going to sell it to everyone's parents there, because you're not allowed to sell to children, remember?
Yeah.
And then we'll market it like that.
Amazing. Give it up for Jordan, guys. Jordan Jr. All right. Who else has got a question? All right. We go there, and then there. There, and there. Yeah, go for it.
Hi, I'm August, a Boston Media House
Put the mic straight to your mouth, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Hi, I'm August, a Boston Media House PR student. So now my question is, what would you recommend for a marketing or PR students to do or to get their foot in the door while they are a student and after graduating? Basically, how does a student like me turn the theory that you are talking about into learning and getting practical experience?
How do you recommend for students to get their foot in the door with marketing and PR? Because they need experience. Yeah. They're not going to get those jobs if they don't get experience. Yeah. How do you recommend? How do they get their foot in the door?
That's actually quite an easy answer. Yeah. Knock on every single door. Do not get tired of knocking on doors, and be willing to accept an internship. Yeah. Eventually there is going to be a door that opens up, and be fully committed. Like as if everything in your life depends on it. Because remember.
How do you deal with rejections? Because that's very important.
Oh, yeah.
Because knocking on every single door, you're going to get rejected. Yeah. And obviously, if you've never done it before, well, when you've done it now for a few times, but if you've never done it before, it can hurt you.
No,
right?
for sure.
So how do you deal with those rejections when they happen, and for them getting into that marketplace?
So when I started out, of course, naturally, I knocked on every single door. Every single rejection hurt me. It absolutely hurt. Yeah. However, I kept on looking at it as, this is not what God planned for me in my next step, and the next phase of my life.
Yes.
So with that, don't lose hope. Trust in God and just keep on knocking on every single door, because at the end of the day, no one's coming to save you. Life is not a group project. It's just you.
I love that. Don't lose hope, trust in God, and knock on every single door. And I love that. Life is not a group project. It's not WhatsApp. All right, it's real life here. Next question. Who was it? It was you, right? It was the question here, and then we go back to you. We'll go to you. You had a question here.
Hello guys, my name is Emmanuel Mwache. Sorry for talking so long. All of your points were truly honest, and with myself being an artist, I truly stand by every single thing you say. What keeps me strong? My first song, it's called Blessed. I was telling everyone I'm blessed, and that's why I'm doing this. When you go to other things that are pushing me forward, I have songs of warning. I'm warning you. If you want to think I'm bad, I'm warning you. If you want to know who the man, I have a song called Who the Man. That's me. If you want to know me, I have a song called Folly. That's my stage name. And as it keeps going, every person loves it. It's just that my manager, when it comes to music, he told me I should remember the fact that I should make music in a way that it attaches attention or is attention seeking to the people listening, as well as it being able to be used in advertisements and such. But once you listen to all of them are able to be used in such. So with such things, are there any ways to assist in advertisement or marketing on social media with those works of the songs that you love and the songs that you're capable of making?
Right. Anyone wants to take this one?
Yeah. So I've worked in the music industry for a little bit actually. It wasn't a lot. So please forgive me if I don't fully answer your question. However, I think you need to establish what it is that you want to do when it comes to music. And the reason why I say that, I've got some friends who at the time were just up and coming musicians, and now actually that is their bread and butter, and they earn handsomely from it. I also have a friend who started out as a rapper, but then switched over to just straight sound production. And he makes sounds now that you hear in adverts, just like your generic type of sounding things, or something that you'd hear even in an elevator. I think you need to figure out what it is that you want to do, and then just get started. Don't wait for the conditions to be perfect. They will never be. Get started, learn along the way.
There you go.
And
Get started,
that's what I've
learn
been up
along the
to.
lines.
And one thing I'll always remember is with my studying of how to attack the music industry with the messages that I push.
That's
is
it.
a simple Italian statement. Vini, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered.
Ville, vide, vici. I came and saw, I conquered. I love it. I love it. Who else? Who else? Who else? That's great. I love it. I love it. That's good. That's good. Who else? It was him and then him. Him, her, and then him.
Good afternoon. My name is Halsey again. In terms of this question is directed to everyone in the panel,
Right.
but then was sparked by the gentleman in white pants. Spoke about you say that advertising and marketing is two different things. So now, how do you now identify what type of strategy to use when you want to scale a business? Especially for a small business, how do you know this business needs advertising or marketing, to scale it to raise your revenues or whatever?
Advertising and marketing, how do you recognize which one to use to scale your business? Should it be marketing, advertising? When you have a small business, how do you identify which one to use?
So I'll explain it in as simple terms as I can. We have the push factors and the pull factors. The push factors are what allows, if you're trying to scale a business, let's take water, right? You're trying to scale water. The push factors are, do you have the right distribution channels? Are you in the right stores? Do you have enough stock? All of these things, there might be supply chain considerations, but it's supply against demand, right? So it becomes a marketing consideration. When you're looking at marketing, you're not talking about how do we attract consumers. You're talking about how do we create a competitive and sustainable offering. That's what marketing is about, of which advertising, the pull factor, is one way to do it. So now advertising, on the other hand, is where are our consumers and how are we going to let them know about our product? So you might have a banner in the store that you're selling the water. You might post something on social media, get keywords on Google, buy a billboard next to the community that ultimately is going to be purchasing your products. But marketing is about making something viable. Advertising is about attracting. So when you're trying to scale your business, ask yourselves two questions. One, if you want to scale from a marketing perspective, do you have the distribution, the outlets, the infrastructure to scale? And then two, if you're going to scale, do you have enough consumers to meet the demand or to meet the supply that you want to put out in market? And if the answer is no, you then need to start to advertise to acquire and attract more consumers.
Okay, that's perfect answer. That's good. Okay, next up, you. Which one? Oh, sorry, he's been raising. Which, oh, you, all right, so he's here, so he's going to come to you guys next, and then go to you, right? Let him just, because he's already there. He's going to come to you. I'd like to see you very clearly. Go on.
Mashood, once again. My question is, as a filmmaker, let's say I'm trying to make a film, and my primary target market is like people who are living in poverty. As we all know, poverty is a very big thing in South Africa, right? How do I then market to my target market, knowing very well that they might not have the needs to see whatever I'm marketing for them, like my film? They might not have Wi-Fi, for example. They might not have TVs. How do I market to the poor target market?
I think I'll start with New Metro on this one, Beverly.
Okay, so you are going to have to look at opportunities that takes cinema beyond cities. That kind of an approach. So you're going to have to look at outdoor opportunities for people to access a screen, for you to access a screen, people to go to a park, to view, different marketing strategies that you want to showcase your film in, outside of going into cinema. You're going to have to then speak to distribution companies, to speak to exhibitors like ourselves, to then take your product and put it on screen that you can showcase your film to other audiences. But if your first target market is to speak to the people on the ground, you need to go to them.
So if your first target market is to speak to people on the ground, you need to go to it. So obviously, if you're looking at, and we talked about this earlier when you asked that question, if you're looking at doing a feature film, you want to connect to other audiences. You're telling a story. I always say you can't tell a story to someone that's going through the story. They'll be looking at you thinking, I know, right? So the story is not to be told, to the person that is going through the story. The story is to be told to the other people. If you look at hip hop and where it came from in America, the reason that story, the reason why across the world everyone's saying we know Tupac, Notorious B.I.G., is because they told a story of what they were going through, from slavery to all the stuff they were going through, and that story impacted people across the other side, and they connected to that story. So you might be saying, you had a short film about story, so you might be saying something, but there might be people across the world that want to know that story, right? And you're not thinking about them, right? So that's where, as she's saying, it's like look at different opportunities to think about them. Okay, so let's move on to you, and then we move on to you. So we're going like that, because if it goes like that and comes to here, that's going to be zigzag. That doesn't make no sense at all, does it? Right, yeah, it is. Let's go.
Good day, everyone. My name is Nkateko, and I'm a Boston Media House student. So my question is, as WhatsApp is now growing as an app, there are communities and stuff like that. Do you see a market for advertising there? And if so, how would you market in a personal space as WhatsApp? Thank you.
WhatsApp is growing as a community. There is now a business version of WhatsApp. Do you see a marketing space in WhatsApp? A lot of businesses, especially in Africa, use WhatsApp more than the West for businesses. In other countries, it's used more for personal, but here it's increasingly used for businesses. Do you see that as a route to market? Any of you, route to market? Who wants to go for this one?
Okay, yes. So we are setting, as a company, Metro, we are setting up a channel. Right. We're in the process of doing that, so we are going to start playing in that space.
Okay. Who else wants to add on that?
I'll be brief. Likewise, a lot of our clients are already using WhatsApp as a way to reach their consumers. So whether it be through loyalty and rewards programs, whether it be by having personalized chatbots that can help people with very particular questions that they have, we found that it's a very direct way to reach our consumers, get away from all of the clutter and the noise from all the other comms that are out there, and be able to speak to them about what they want to discuss and what problems they want solved, as opposed to generic spray and pray. So yeah, WhatsApp is definitely a good platform.
Fair enough.
And then, sorry, just to wrap up on that, another way that WhatsApp is actually really, really good is it makes the user journey very short. And you want that as short as possible when it comes to getting a sale from a consumer. You don't want a consumer to be clicking on a link, then click on another link, then another link. No, you've lost them.
Yeah.
WhatsApp business accounts allow you to directly put your products there. And then there's probably one link that needs to be clicked into.
And just quickly, actually, seeing as this is about economy, business empowerment, that table over there, if you want more questions and stronger answers than I can give, their business model is to help brands use WhatsApp to reach consumers. That's what they do. The guy with the hat and the guy in the cream jacket. So they'll be able to double click on what the benefits and limitations could be.
Amazing. Come on. Let's go. You guys now. There you go. Go for it.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the panelists.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon to the stalls. You're doing a great job. I've acknowledged everyone. So my question to the panelists is, what's the difference between marketing and branding? That's what I'm trying to understand.
What's the difference between marketing and branding?
Okay, cool. So at HKLM Group, we specialize in branding, and branding is how people actually see your product, your brand. It's your look and feel. It's your CI. It's everything that separates you from everybody else, at least from a first visual point, standpoint, whether it be on the TV, on a billboard, or just on a random wall or something like that. Where then marketing comes in is how then people will experience your brand, and how then you are going to actually take your brand to the market and introduce it to them. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Okay, brilliant. Who else? Any more questions? You guys here? Yeah? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zipo, and I freelance in media and communications. So...
What company again? What company again?
Freelance, all over the show.
All right,
so
good,
a bit
amazing.
of SABC, a bit of New Vision,
Amazing.
A couple of places.
Okay.
So I struggle a bit with the idea of marketing, right? And I'll tell you why. It's because I'm of the belief that I'm either going to buy something or not.
Right.
I don't care how much it's trending or what catchphrases you throw out, or I feel like if I'm not buying into the idea, I'm not going to spend money on it. So then back to some of the points that you mentioned, the ABCs. So my question is, no matter how audacious you are, or bold you are, or competent you are, if Mnazipo, I'm not believing in it, I don't feel like there's enough convincing that you can do. Am I wrong, or is that where the resilience comes in? Or are there certain people that you're just not going to reach? That's my question.
A lot of people are different. Do you want to take that?
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting question you're asking, Zipo. Okay, I'm going to try and answer it this way, right? That is a conviction that you have. You believe that you're either going to buy something or you're not. And that's because of where you are in your life. But let's say hypothetically, tomorrow you woke up and you won the lotto. And you now have a level of access in your life where you could literally consume anything. What is then the driving factor in why you go for something or not? And that is the responsibility that the brands have in their process of trying to communicate with the consumer. Because even in the process of you being so convicted in, I'm either gonna buy something or I'm not, there are certain purchases in your life that you are making because you grew up in a home that was already using those certain products or services. And by default, you walk into a store and you choose to grab Colgate as compared to Aquafresh, right? And that's just layman. There's a reason why you bank with ABSA and not with FNB. But there's a reason why you would then choose to now go bank with Investec. Marketing, branding, communications has a very big responsibility. And I think I loved what Zach said around it is how people see things. It is actually influencing people. All of us are being influenced one way, shape, or the other. And as marketers, we just have the responsibility to make sure that the brands that we're responsible for are just doing the right influence to the people that we're trying to get to.
Okay, that's good. Amazing. All right, any more questions? Oh, that's it. We have 2 questions here.
Afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
My name is Rufilwe. So before I get into my questions, I have 2 questions. So like Zach said, I myself did not choose marketing. I was in medicine before I got into this. So I was at a point where passion had left me and I was left with discipline. Then discipline had left me and I was left with nothing. And then I got into marketing and I found something different. I found purpose. And it began to feel different. So now I find myself still mourning medicine, And I've also found a field in marketing that relates the two. So I've recently discovered neuroscience in marketing and evidence-based marketing. So my first question would be now, how do you as panelists feel that now, before consumers purchase anything, it's a thought? So I do think that before we feel, we think. Before we act, we think. So before anybody purchases anything, it's a thought, and we move from there before just saying, no, colors appeal, wording appeals, and all of that. And then my second question is actually to you, Liat, about how do you feel on the days when you don't want to wake up a woman, you don't want to wake up black, you just want to wake up a powerful person in the industry? Yeah.
Okay. So you got two questions there. If I get it right, your first question is changing fields. You change your fields, and your second question is, how do you feel like when you don't want to get up in the morning as a woman?
As a woman and black.
As a black woman in South Africa, how do you feel like you don't want to get up in the morning, but you need to be powerful?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, Leah. There we go.
Okay. Should I try answer both, or should I answer the question that was directed to me?
Anybody can answer the first one, but the second one is specifically
What was the first one again? Just focus. I'm literally getting my head around neuroscience. And what was the first one again?
The first one is about neuroscience and evidence-based marketing rather than appealing to emotion first.
So appealing to neuroscience and evidence-based marketing rather than appealing to emotions.
Yes.
All right, so using like NLP to appeal to. Okay. All right, cool. Anybody wants to do that one?
So for the first one, I'm a strategist and I am surrounded by creatives on a daily basis. Creatives that I work with are very creative, but they just do things for the vibes.
Yeah,
like, wouldn't it be cool if we were to put a man on the moon and then, I'm sure it would be. But how do we know this is going to drive results, right? So FCB, we have a mantra, and it's creativity as an economic multiplier. If we cannot prove that the creative work is actually driving results, then we shouldn't be putting the work out into market. But in order to prove that it's driving results, you have to take that evidence-based approach. And when you talk about neuroscience marketing, there's this tea company called Twinings Tea. And what they do in Europe is once a year, they get a couple of hundred people and they strap their heads up to this device. And they show them different images, different smells, different sounds. And based on what parts of their brain fire off, they then create marketing campaigns because they know that when someone sees a bird, this is the feeling they get, or this is what it makes them think about. When someone hears this sound, this makes them more hungry or makes them more excited. And they take this evidence-based approach in terms of your point of thinking before purchasing to a whole new degree. So given that you have a medical background and given where marketing is going, there's a lot of really fun ways where you can take that skill set and transfer it over that will, one, be really distinct and unique for you as an individual, but two, for the clients you work on, will help guarantee better and better results.
Wow, okay. Round of applause, guys. And the second question was, when you don't feel like a superwoman, how do you get up? How do you get motivated to get up? You know, you have those days where you get up, you're like, I just want to get back to bed. How do you feel like, yes, you know what? I'm a super black woman, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to do it.
Sure. I love the question in such a way that I feel that we have a very big responsibility in not allowing our own labels to be our own limitations, right? And the reason I say that is because we are in a world where anyone can be anything. If you look at people that have made it, there's this guy that was on TikTok that made these funny videos where people were doing complicated stuff, and then he would just do the simple version of it. And there was this lady during COVID that made those jokes in her bed back in Kenya, and we've seen these people who moved from being ordinary people, and they've achieved a certain level of success in such a short period of time, right in front of our eyes, right? And I'm saying this specifically because while there are certain things that can inspire us and drive us to understand that maybe we are coming from the back foot and how much harder we need to work, we should also not allow those very same things to be labels that allow us to box our own selves. So to then answer your question, I think every day, I love what you said about being anchored by your belief in Christ. You have to have that strong conviction of you are truly capable, simply just as a human being.
Yes.
Right? And from that, you then build and understand that because of this and this and this, yes, I do have to work extra hard, I do have to do this, and some of the things, I can use them to my advantage, some of the things are a disadvantage to me because you need that strong awareness. But I would say, not trying to sound like a motivational speaker, you have to be driven by your why. I think one of the panelists said that. You have to be driven by your why. Number two, do not label yourself to such an extent that you box yourself. Truly understand that more than anything, you are a human being and you are truly capable of anything you put your mind to. And then also understand that this life is hard. Like some days it's going to be difficult to wake up, but be kind to yourself. If you can't wake up on that day, the least you can do is just try and do the little that you can. But tomorrow is still another day, because mental health and being kind and gentle with yourself is also truly important. But balancing that with also being disciplined and pushing yourself is also very important. But both those things can be both correct at the same time.
That's an amazing answer. That's an amazing answer. All right, so I think we've reached the end to this panel. Don't forget, we are live on VooVix TV and YouTube. Coming up, we have the AI, FinTech and Digital Disruption panel. We also have the Business of Entertainment in South Africa. We have Kim J, Lebogang, Lejoy in that panel. And we also have the National Innovation and Technology Awards winners and SA Next Superstar winners as well coming up. Before we go, this has been an amazing talk, team, right? In terms of marketing, you guys have had a masterclass, to be honest. I want us to go from here on the panel and say what, basically to TV, to everyone's watching, name and your legacy, right? What do you want your legacy to be? So, for example, I would say mine. My name is Jordan. I want my legacy to be that I did something to help people become successful. So what do you want your legacy to be? Your name and what you want your legacy to be?
I'm Beverly Govender, and my legacy is to live a life that is worth emulating, not just to my kids, but to everybody out there. Just be kind.
Amazing. Yeah, come on, clap if you can. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Mulelo Mashilo, and I want my legacy to be leaving a great example in my profession to those that come after me.
Amazing.
I am Liat Madunane, and I want my legacy to be representation. I want a young person to look at me and see that it is possible.
Amazing. Come on, come on, come on, guys. Yes. Go on.
I'm Zachary Kingston, and my legacy is a bit cliche, but I just want to leave the world better than what I found it.
Leave the world better. Come on, come on. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Bongani Kumalo, and my legacy is I just want to show people the power of forever just working with each other in teams.
Amazing, amazing. Come on. Yes.
My name is Amin Ibrahim, and I want my legacy to be one of wealth. To be blunt, very rich.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. I love it. Guys, give it up for our marketing team. Make some noise for our marketing team. Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. Amazing, amazing. What a powerful team. Amazing, 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 amazing.